Welcome back to another Q&A video. Post your questions down below and let's get started. Will you become fluffy again or are you being... Well, right now, I plan on maintaining a body weight anywhere between 160 and 165. I will not go above 165. However, there's a possibility that I might get a little bit leaner if I want to really maximize my performance on one-arm pull-ups. So that is a possibility, but no, I'm not going to go fluffy right now. For the summer, I'm enjoying the lean gains. That's how it's going to be. However, when the wintertime comes around, when it starts getting really cold outside, I plan on returning to bear mode because I think it's going to be really awesome. Again, I can't confirm that. Who knows what lies ahead in the future? But all I can say is this. Right now, I'm focusing on the calisthenics, getting my performance back while being at a lighter body weight. And then when winter comes around, bulk back up. Okay, next question. How do you keep your skin so clear? The main thing was actually following a plant-based diet. The moment I started increasing my fruits and vegetables and eating really clean, making sure that I'm getting all my macros on point and eliminating a lot of animal products as well, I noticed that my face just became much better looking overall. The darkness under my eyes went away a lot. I had like spots on my face. I used to get a little bit of pimples here and there from the dairy. I would say the dairy is the big thing. I've not had a glass of milk. I can't even remember. And I used to have milk in my coffee every time. Now I can't even do it. I have black coffee. So I have not had any milk whatsoever. I've had pizzas here and there, a little bit of dairy here and there, but I find that eliminating that had the biggest effect on my skin, hands down. So eliminating dairy and the plant-based diet and also doing more cardio and getting leaner, So I think I'm pretty healthy, man. And my glowing skin demonstrates that. I've been listening to rap while I work out, but heard metal is a lot better. Suggestions for what to listen to for my workouts. Yeah, dude, that's all subjective, man. You need to listen to music that makes your emotions go crazy. And for some, that's going to be rap. Others can be metal. Some is going to be classical music. Whatever you like. I mean, that's all subjective. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I recommend. I like melodic death metal. I like stuff with like real rhythm, real soul, real melody. Stuff that like gets my blood boiling. But that's just me. We're not all the same personality. Some guys, they like that techno stuff. I mean, everybody's different. So just find out what works for you. What gives you that drive? That's all I can say, my friend. Opinion on not having an actual program and not counting sets of reps, counting only the overload and body experiences. For example, you feel good, you go for max effort. If you don't, just do accessories. Perfectly fine. That's called training by instinct. Lots of seasoned lifters do this exactly. I have personal friends who are way stronger and bigger than me who train like this. You just have to know your body. Not everything has to be perfectly calculated. In fact, when it comes to concurrent periodization, a lot of it is actually freestyle. You're determining what your workout is going to be day of. And it's based off your previous experiences with like good programs. So you can kind of formulate something like this. The moment you step into the gym, it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. And it just all clicks. So if you're going to pull this off, number one, make sure that you're advanced enough because the experience is very important. And you should be fine. And I know lots of guys who make great gains like that. And usually, too, many of these people have great genetics. Because guys with great genetics can get away with so much nonsense. That's why I try to preach advice that's going to benefit the majority of the population. I don't care what some elite guy is doing if it's not working for most people. So yeah, you can train by instinct, absolutely. Hey Alpha, I know you went into calisthenics, but you still do legs. Makes the movements harder, so I'm debating whether I should remove it or not because I want to get into calisthenics. Because of you, by the way. Awesome. Can you help me out, please? Okay. Yes, I still train my legs. I do rack pulls, pulls off the floor occasionally, once in a blue moon, but mainly rack pulls. And I'll do like Zercher squats off pins, either parallel or slightly above parallel. But I don't do regular leg training, if you will. Is that hindering my performance? It probably is. If you want to be the best at calisthenics, I think having chicken legs is actually better for a lot of people. That's why a lot of the world records, these people have toothpicks for legs, real toothpicks, because the legs weigh you down. And trust me, every pound makes a difference. If you go to a buffet, man, and your weight increases like 5-10 pounds because of water weight and bloat, try doing one-arm chin-ups. They're going to feel way harder because now it's technically like doing a weighted version, you understand? It's not your original body weight. So it's the same thing for the legs. If you have huge legs, let's say you have 30-inch quads or whatever, and you're trying to do one-arm pull-ups, it's going to be much more difficult. So I suppose if you want like the best performance, you could be lazy on your legs, or you could run a program that like minimizes the size. But I don't know if you should stop training them completely. I know some gymnasts actually train their legs. Some gymnasts, they do mobility work for the legs. They'll do Jefferson curls, stuff like that. Or they'll do body weight movements like pistol squats, not to overbulk them. So I know a lot of gymnasts train their legs. So to say just stop completely, I don't know how correct that is if we look at the actual experiences. But I would certainly say that having smaller legs is advantageous. You've mentioned banded rows as fluff work. I'm limited to bands, so I train at home. Are banded rows not as sufficient as cables? They're very sufficient. I call it fluff work because that's kind of what it is. For me, the main builders is your heavy free weight rows. Your barbell rows, your dumbbell rows, Yates row, Penley row, all that type of stuff. So the seated cable row has always been like a fluff accessory. You do it to pump up the back. It aids in injury prevention. It helps you accumulate more volume without fatiguing the lower back. So I consider it fluff work in a sense. But it's not bad fluff work. It's good to do, Some powerlifters say that you should row 5 times a week on the seated cable. So are bands sufficient? Yes, it's the same thing. Actually, I might even say that they're better because you get an overspeed eccentric effect and there's more peak contraction because as you pull the bands, it gets heavier at the top. So you're going to be right here. You really got to squeeze it up your back. And then on the way down, overspeed eccentric, great for recovery, which is perfect if you're going to be doing it at a high frequency like the powerlifters are recommending. Weighted inverted rows on rings be good as a main rowing exercise for strength and hypertrophy. Yeah, definitely. I've done the inverted rows on the rings and they're hard as hell. Just body weight. If you do it for high reps or just high volume, low rest intervals, you get an amazing pump and it's difficult. Full range of motion, like proper form, it's hard. So if you're doing it weighted, like you're putting a plate on your chest, inverted rows on the rings, you're going to have a huge upper back. That's a great idea. What do you think of static holds for things like bench and squat? Kind of like how Olympic lifters do it? Well, the thing is with Olympic lifting, it's more specific and it's actually going to help a lot. For the cleans, the push presses, the snatches. Like if you do overhead lockouts, that's specific. It is. So is doing front squat hold. Now, if you're doing static holds on your bench, like say you just take out a huge weight and you're just holding it, I don't know how beneficial that is. To me, I would see it better if you're doing pin presses from that angle, like just partial reps. Board press or even band presses or chain presses, I find you're going to get more carryover from that. But I don't know, who am I to say? I think there are some guys who did get great gains at just the lockouts. And also, the term static hold, it could also mean doing it from the chest. Some guys load up a really heavy weight, they're doing static holds from the chest. So, what do you mean by static holds? So yeah, it should be all right. How much should home gym flooring cost? Keep up the great work, Alex. Shouldn't cost that much, man. Go get some horse stall mats. It's going to cost you maybe $50, $100. Depends on how much space you got. Like my home gym area, I have a power rack. So I didn't need that many. I have 4 horse stall mats, which are quite large. And then I have a bunch of foam mats, like heavy duty foam, where I put some of my other stuff. It's not that expensive. And I got lucky because at Home Depot, there was actually a special on these. Because winter was going away when I bought my home gym, the mats were on sale because people aren't going to be buying it during that time frame. But because I needed it for protective flooring, got a great price on it. So yeah, it's not going to cost that much, maybe $50 to $100. But again, it depends on how much space you're dealing with. But it's nothing to worry about. It'll actually save money compared to destroying your floor. Thoughts on reverse pyramid training? By the way, are you Greek? Yeah, half Greek. My father's side is Greek, as you can probably tell by my last name. But yeah, reverse pyramid training is fine. It's really just a fancy word for back off sets. It's been done for as long as weight training's been around. It's time tested. A lot of the old school grades did it. A lot of strongmen do it. A lot of bodybuilders, powerlifters. I mean, back off sets, you can never go wrong with it. It's one of the greatest ways to raise your strength. I don't know what else to say about it. It's amazing in every possible way. So definitely give it a shot. Some people call it reverse pyramid training, but it's just back off sets. How to train legs only on a calisthenics program. Try high volume pistol squats. I think you're going to enjoy those very much. If you know about Sam or Neil and the transcendent method, you can work up to 100 reps, which I doubt you're going to get it there, but imagine if you can pull that off. Just high rep pistol squats, high volume. High reps, low rest, good form. That's what I'd recommend. It's true that you're just as strong as your biggest weakness. When you are talking about all these different variations, isn't that just stupid to do all these variations? Why not just focus on your weakness? If you have a weakness, practicing the same lift over and over again is not going to address it. You need to hammer the weakness directly with specific accessory lifts. So if your lower back is a problem, then you should be doing things like good mornings, possibly. or hyperextensions or more reverse hypers. You want to make your accessories specific so that it corrects your weaknesses. If you have really weak triceps, then you want to do your extensions. I hate minimalist thinking. Oh, if you have weak pecs on a bench press, just keep hammering your pause bench with volume. Eventually, the weakness will magically go away. No, it won't. No, it fucking won't. Do some more specific work. Do dead stop benching. Do more dumbbell press. That's how I see it. To me, you want exercise, rotation that is all specific for your weaknesses. That's how you eliminate your problems for good. Legit. I used to have a lot of lockout issues when bench pressing. I corrected that by using band presses. It worked better than anything I ever used. So I used to do double minis, double monsters, double lights. That's how I like to do things. And it's also the West Side way. It's the Louis Simmons way. It's the Matt Wenning way. It's the Burley Hawk way. And that's what I believe in. I'm not going to say if you have a weak lower back, just keep doing the conventional deadlift. Fuck that advice. Isolate your lower back. Hit some specific movements so your lower back is so strong that you'll never have issues ever again. You want to hammer to death with specific accessories, with volume, with awesome compound movements. That's being intelligent, not just repeating the same thing over and over again. Do rack pulls below the knee assist your rows? They absolutely do, of course. It's the exact position that you're going to be in when you're doing a barbell row, for instance. A barbell row, the plates aren't like directly above the ground per se, you know? It's going to be like a similar position to below the knee rack pulls, or maybe like a 2 to 4 inch block pull approximately. So yeah, it's perfect. It's very specific in that way. I would also say that Romanian deadlifts will have the same effect. Thoughts on eating junk food to reach calorie goals, but also eating clean at the same time to fit micronutrients and stay healthy. I don't think you'll be healthy with that approach. If you're eating junk food on a consistent basis, even if you're getting your macros and micros on point, and you're trying to offset that by consuming fruits and veggies, you're still ruining your health, absolutely. You can't be going out to these fast food restaurants eating garbage on a daily basis and expecting that everything's going to be fine. Even if you try to maximize it with like a fasting routine and you're minimizing inflammation, the fact that you're consuming all this garbage stuff, all this processed crap, that's just plain unhealthy for you, it's not healthy, period. So I don't recommend that for health. If you're doing it for performance, you're going to be fine. Like obviously if you eat an extra large pizza yourself, then you have some fruits and veggies, you're going to be fine in the gym, no problem. But for health, no, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be having pizzas 3 times a week. You shouldn't be eating burgers every freaking day. Nah, bro. How much range of motion do you have to change to avoid the biological law of accommodation? Great question. A few inches will take care of that very nicely. So let's say you're doing a 2 board press. Switch to a 3 board press. Problem solved. You could even be going like dead stop bench from the chest to like right above your chest, right here. That's all you need. Slight tweaks will override the biological law of accommodation. So the training is not complicated. It's the easiest thing in the world. That's why progressive range of motion works, by the way. You're always overriding that law by gradually reducing the height by a few inches. There you go. Alex, what do you think about Brian Alsruhes' new program, Dark Horse? And are you ever going to do an interview with him? I would be honored to do an interview with Brian Alsruhes. I think he's a very genuine and humble individual, and I really like his content. And I know that he went through a lot as well recently. Medical complications with his shoulder, and oh man, what he went through must have been hell. So I'm very glad to see that he's doing better. It's sad to see bad things happen to good people. So I would be absolutely honored to do an interview with him. If he's down, hey, I'm totally down as well. Now, as far as this program is concerned, I mean, if it's Brian that wrote it, it's a damn good program. I've seen what he released on his linear progression program and his conjugate program. They're all fantastic. His training videos are good. His advice is good. He has a lot of experience. He knows what he's talking about. That's one of the channels that I highly recommend. So subscribe to Brian Alsruhes. You will not regret it. You're going to like his personality for one. You're going to like his character, what he's about, living the strength lifestyle. And he gives great advice simultaneously. So I would totally be down for an interview. Thoughts on quarter pin squats for vertical jump? Fantastic idea. I've talked about this in previous Q&As, but that's what you want. It's specific, and there are studies done on this. You got a lot of morons who talk trash about partials, saying that you should only do full range of motion, but they don't understand that strength is joint angle specific. And if you do things like pin squats, like quarter reps pin squats, guess what? Has more carryover than ass to grass. And the studies have confirmed this. And I've been talking about this for a long time, my friends. Same thing occurs with fighting training, by the way. You know, if you do Jefferson rack pulls, like 3 to 4 inches above the ground, very specific stuff. You don't have to pull from the floor if you want the carryover. So it's all about specificity, man. I think that's a fantastic idea. Obviously, you're going to be lifting a lot of weight. So maybe you could throw in some bands just so you don't have to load up as many plates or whatever. It's also going to reduce the deceleration curve so you get more out of it. But yeah, great idea. Great idea. I'm actually doing pin squats right now. Parallel and slightly above parallel. What would basic grip strength workout look like? You know, there's thousands of workouts that I can create for you. Legit. Like, there's just so many. I can give you a sample one real quick. You start off with a double overhand rack pull above the knee with fat grips. Maybe do 3 sets of 3 or a 1 rep max. Or maybe 1 set of 30 to 60 seconds where you're just holding it as long as you can. Right after that, you can do farmer walks. You can use it with dumbbells, trap bar, the actual farmer walk implements, using fat handles if you want to. That's a good option. Next, you could do something like towel pull-ups. Take a towel, put on top of a pull-up bar, and do those for a little bit. That's going to build your crushing strength. It's a fantastic exercise. Very, very challenging at the same time. And you can finish off with some loading pin work. You can do the hub. You can do pinch work, whatever you like. So that's just a sample form routine. I got tons more. If you want me to post videos like that, which I plan on doing, I got a lot of specialties. And I'm a guy who knows his stuff when it comes down to the forms. Do you think overhead press works better with high reps compared to dynamic effort? Hard to say. Based off my experience, high reps always seem to have done more. Just doing like high sets, high repetition, stuff like that. And I don't know too many guys who really mess with the dynamic effort. I know dynamic effort is very, very good for athletes. And it works very well for things like push presses and bench press, even squats and deads. So overhead press, it does work. I just don't know if it's better compared to just doing rep work. So I say give it a shot, see if it works for you. And if you want to just do it once in a while, that's fine. I think you'll be okay with just rep work. All right, guys, last question of the week. Explosive calisthenics for kickboxing carryover, also full body twice a week, kickboxing 3 times a week. Okay. For the full body twice a week, yes. Yes. Because kickboxing is quite demanding on the body. It really taps into your recovery. And you need a program that allows you to get good volume, good intensity, and not overdo it with the frequency either. Now, many bro splits are going to mess you up with this. You cannot do a bro split and have optimal recovery for kickboxing. It's going to be subpar in every possible way. An upper lower is fantastic. It's a very good system, but you're in the gym too many days a week. You're in the gym 4 days a week, and with the 3 times kickboxing, that's going to impede your recovery. And then a push-pull legs, same issue. So it's not that they're bad. It's just that for what you're doing now 3 times a week, a full body twice a week makes much more sense. And you can get all the benefits you need. You can do Monday intensity day, Thursday volume day. Boom, done. And then you could sprinkle in the kickboxing training on those off days. Perfect. So I like the way you think, man, and I hope that this helps you out. So that said, that's all for tonight's Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me your feedback down below, and I will talk to you all next time.